Speaker Nancy Pelosi slammed Jake Tapper during an appearance on CNN earlier this week for reporting on Trump hitting Kamala Harris's mental acuity. Let's watch.
You talk about cognitive problems? She's got bigger cognitive problems than he has, in my opinion.
Donald Trump saying that Kamala Harris has bigger cognitive problems than Joe Biden.
Why would you even cover that? This is a person who's not on the level. He is their nominee for president. He is incompetent. Let's not even talk about the silliness of it all and the weirdness of it all and the assault on women that it is. We're not going to talk issues. Incompetent. And what did he do with COVID? Denial and delay. Responsible for thousands and thousands of people dying. So if you're going to forgive his job record because of COVID, make sure you attribute many of those deaths to him as well.
Not forgiving anything, just noting.
I mean, if she's actually upset that they dared ask her about it's news because Trump said it, so you can think it was you could go after Trump for saying don't complain about the refs.
Well, I don't know that I agree with that, actually. I mean, is it news? Is everything that
Trump... You don't
want
to do the interview with them.
But is everything that Trump says news just because he says it?
Yeah.
But is it really, though? Like, because he just pulls stuff out of thin air all the time that has no factual basis. And the idea that all of it merits minutes of discussion is, I'm not sure.
What's the factual basis to hitting Trump on thousands of deaths? What was she specifically referencing?
I didn't.
There was Trump administration did Operation Warp Speed. The Biden people were very happy that they did it. It was a successful handoff on having vaccines ready for those who wanted them as fast as humanly possible, the fastest in terms of how our very sluggish FDA operates. That's been widely hailed as a success. So what is she talking about?
I didn't love her broader argument when she went into all the various things, and she was like, Trump's incompetent and blah, blah, blah. But the point is that, just giving Trump license, or anybody license for that matter, to control the news cycle by inventing stuff and just saying crazy stuff all the time just doesn't seem a very good use of journalistic discernment to me. There's no law against it. I'm not going to suggest that Jake Tapper gets kicked off the air because of stating something about a Trump
stating
comparison.
it, right? Just saying this is what he said, and she gets to respond. And look, I don't agree with Trump, obviously, that Kamala Harris evinces less mental cognitive capabilities than Joe Biden. That's a very low bar to clear, but clearly she is more able to communicate and is thinking quicker on her feet than Joe Biden is right now. I mean, I think that was even clear from the incredibly softball interview Joe Biden did with The View earlier this week, where even in the friendliest territory, he's having a little bit of trouble stringing a sentence together. So she's doing better than that. It is kind of funny that you hear now a lot more discussion from the Democratic side about cognitive decline. Yeah. Pointing to Trump. Yeah. Well, he's really old, and does he have it all together? They flipped on a dime on that one when they had Joe Biden gone, after minimizing or pretending that was not an issue whatsoever, when their main candidate was evincing far more struggles on this front than anyone else, including Donald Trump. I
agree with that point, and I was very turned off by the capacity of liberal commentators to do that about Trump. It's like, now we've got rid of our 81-year-old guy, let's lay into the 78-year-old guy on the very same basis that we, liberal commentators, previously argued was unfair or unjustified when it came to Biden. I thought there was a fundamental intellectual dishonesty about that position, right? Now, that is a whole bigger argument about people catering to their own audience, to their own viewership, to their own perceived brand, and I don't think it really helps anything. That being said, in terms of the Pelosi thing, I just think it is up to you, me, anybody else who has any kind of platform to figure out, what do we want to put on that platform? What do we want to consider worthy of discussion that merits, genuine argument? I think there are lots. I get that politics isn't all, eat your greens substance, but there are a lot more salient issues to talk about than Donald Trump at a rally just going off on one and talking nonsense.
Well, sure, they could ask her about all those Visa stocks that her husband sold.
You enjoy that story, in a way.
DOJ investigation. Yeah, I just always want to be a little careful about, it's the news networks fall for bringing it up or, attributing what Trump says to them. Because, I mean, we got in trouble for this once a couple years ago.
Right.
Me and Ryan Grimm and Kim Iverson hosting the show, and we got banned on YouTube for a week. Why? Because we played a clip of Trump in which he made the claim that the election had been stolen, a claim that I have disputed and corrected about 10,000 times on the show. I had done it 10,000 times before that. I don't think that claim is correct. I can explain why it's not correct. But this specific segment was a segment about Ukraine. So he was mostly giving, remarks about Ukraine, but he happened to make the election claim. We didn't jump in and say, by the way, that claim is false, because we were talking about Ukraine. And on that basis, we were accused of spreading misinformation, not because we said the election was stolen, but because in that one clip, we did not correct Trump saying it. This, by the way, also happened to the January 6th Commission, where they were taken off YouTube because
they have all that evidence
him saying that they were showing the evidence was counted as spreading it. That was obviously a ridiculous policy that YouTube has now gotten rid of. They have announced that we're not doing that policy anymore. But that's the danger of associating, of collapsing these distinguishing lines between the speaker and the one telling you what the speaker said.
Yeah, and then there is obviously the question of whether, even if YouTube had maintained that policy, is it consistently applied then? Do you apply it to...
No, that was just for elections.
It was just for elections. So there are other things that are provably untrue that you can permit to go by and you don't get punished for it. So obviously that is, the whole argument about how these standards are applied is a valid topic, and it is incredibly difficult to find a realistic way of controlling that stuff or of even policing it in any kind of even
and that just became so apparent under COVID, where they wanted to police assertions made by experts about a number of things that ended up then just being more complicated. Do masks actually work? There's a debate over to what extent and how good they have to be to make any difference. The vaccines, they claimed they were going to stop. Some people made claims that they were going to substantially stop the spread of the virus itself. That didn't hold up, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It just it was difficult. There were legitimate conversations to be had about these issues, even among the experts, and that's the danger when you just start saying we can't even have any of this on our platform.
It is. I mean, there are obvious dangers of policing things in a way that proves to be untrue. There's equally a danger of misinformation on very, very important topics, be it the integrity of elections or the way to avoid getting killed by a once-in-a-century virus. I don't think those are unreasonable concerns to have, but I also don't think we need to broadcast every piece of nonsense Donald Trump says.
That does it for us today on Rising. Tomorrow we will be back with Rising Fridays. I'm actually going to make an appearance on the show this week, so I'll see you then. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you can find podcasts. See you later.